Well, hi, class. First thing I want to say is really good job on the introductory videos. I was really impressed with the quality of those videos. And right off the bat, boy, and you guys have seen them too, we've got a lot of talent in this class. And the one thing that really impressed me about most of the videos is just how natural all of you are in front of the camera. And that's what we want with public speaking. I mean, that your individuality is really your best attribute as a speaker because that's what sets you apart from all the other speakers, right? That uniqueness. And really, it's our uniqueness that also make us valuable, right? Because we have things that we can offer that no one else can. And so I really saw a lot of that natural, just being yourself in front of the camera. And that really goes a long way when it comes to public speaking. So really good job there. If you receive comments like you're very personable, you're very conversational, those are all good comments because that means you're talking to the audience as if you were talking to friends. And audiences typically respond to that kind of presentation. So really good job there. Couple things that we still need to work on. We still have to work on really getting that eye contact dialed in. That's probably one of the more challenging aspects of giving a speech remotely because realistically, you're in a room by yourself talking to a laptop or talking to your phone. But what we really want to do when we're speaking remotely is to create that illusion of eye contact. So folks who are watching, so the viewers, when they're looking at you giving your presentation, it looks as if you're speaking directly to them and you're looking right at them. Eye contact is one of the most important attributes when it comes to public speaking. And it's kind of the more you look at the audience, the better you can keep them into the presentation. And so let's really keep working on that eye contact. And it's tricky too, because our eyes are just naturally drawn to the screen. But if you're looking at the screen, now you're not getting that eye contact with the audience. You've got to make sure you just kind of fight the urge to look down at the screen, keep your eyes focused on the camera lens. And the next video presentation I believe that you will submit will be the video monologue. That'll be in one of the modules this week. I think it's in the delivery module. And so when you do that presentation, let's shoot for at least 50% eye contact. So we're looking at the camera lens at least half the time. And it's certainly okay to glance down at your notes as well. You can do what I do. I put my notes right above the camera. So I have a little note card right here. I just stick it right. I have a little pouch that I made. And so I just have my notes right there. So when I'm looking at my notes, it looks like I'm looking exactly at you. So I don't mind you using notes or kind of jerry-rig your own kind of teleprompter. We just want to make sure that we're creating that illusion of eye contact with the audience. To do that, we've got to make sure that we're looking right into the camera lens. And then let's also, and a lot of you mentioned this as one of your goals, let's really start working on trying to eliminate the use of ums and vocal inferences. And a good way to do that is just really try to pay attention to whether or not you're saying or any other vocal filler in your conversations, and then start trying to catch yourself. So usually it's like, oh, and, oh, I said it. Then second, once we get that awareness, just try to replace the ums or the vocal fillers with a pause. Typically, we're going to use a vocal filler between phrases. And so usually a speaker will say a line while momentarily thinking of the next line. We get an you know, like, okay, I've got that next line ready to go, and then we deliver the line. Just say the line, pause, formulate that next line, and deliver the line. So ultimately what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to replace the vocal fillers with ums. But overall, with those introductory videos, you guys did a really good job. Oh, one other thing I want to nip in the bud, and I mean, you don't know this, no one's probably told you this, but never use any kind of disclaimers in a speech, and you never want to begin a speech with any kind of disclaimer. That, what I mean by that is an excuse to the audience, like, oh, I'm just really, really nervous. So please bear with me, or I'm not feeling well today. Please, you never want to ask the audience to bear with you right at the start of a presentation, because all that is an attempt to lower the expectations of the audience. I mean, realistically, if you want to do it right, you might as well just get a big sign, hang it around your neck, and the sign says, "My speech will suck," because that's essentially what you're telling the audience when you say, "Please bear with me." Look, you may be sick, you may be nervous, you may be struggling with something else. Let the audience figure it out on their own. No disclaimers, no excuses ever in a presentation. If you stumble over a word, just keep going. If you stop and say, "Excuse me, I beg your pardon," you're just drawing more attention to the mistake. And so with public speaking, we just want to keep going. We don't want to apologize. And if you stumble, don't add more attention to it by pointing it out to the audience. Those are little things we'll learn along the way. All right. But overall, really good job on the first week. Also, I'm about halfway through your written assignment for the first week. And so I should get those back to you. And then you've got the 3 modules that you're working on this week. You've got the speech anxiety model. You've got module. You've got the module on audience analysis. And then you've got the module on delivery skills. With speech anxiety, I know for most of us, that's our number one fear, our number one phobia. And so the 2 things I can tell you about speech anxiety, it gets better with experience. But the 2 ways to really learn to control that anxiety, and notice I said control, look, we're not going to get, most of us don't get to the point where we don't feel any nervous anxiety when we speak. If I have to give a presentation, I still get nervous. I get really nervous. But I know that's just my body getting me ready to perform at a level that I typically don't perform at on a daily basis. So I'm really getting lots of extra energy. And so the key with controlling that nervous anxiety is just to put in the practice. You want to be less nervous and control the anxiety better when you give a presentation? Just follow this rule. Always have your speeches written or have your outline done. We actually aren't going to write a speech. We're going to put it together in an outline format, but have your speech prepared 1 week in advance of the due date. And then in the week leading up to the presentation, just practice your speech out loud 3 times a day, every day, the week leading up to the presentation. If you do that, I promise you, you're going to feel a lot less anxiety when you give your presentation. And the reason why is you put in the preparation, you put in the practice, right? That means that you're going to be way more successful and have a lot less anxiety than if you wrote the speech the night before and now you're presenting it for the first time. You're actually going through the presentation. So practice, one of the best. I know you think, oh, it'd be something really cool, some trick I didn't know. It's like anything. Key to success is to put in the work. You want to be a good speaker, then do the preparation. And then the other thing that I can tell you, especially with reading a lot of the papers that you guys are submitting, in terms of really developing that confidence, you can really start now by using lots of positive affirmations. I'm a big believer in we are what we tell ourselves we are. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you really want to build your confidence and lessen the anxiety you feel when you give a presentation, start telling yourself you're a good speaker, right? And pretty soon you're going to start buying into that. So with that little voice inside your head, that psychological noise, we can control that. And so let's use that for positive affirmations. We can actually build ourselves up. That can help with your confidence and controlling speech anxiety as well. You'll also deal with the module on audience analysis, which is so important and something I want you to realize right off the bat when it comes to public speaking. It all starts with the audience. Some of you, I was impressed, even mentioned this as one of your goals. I want to learn how to understand the audience better. That is key because they're the target of your presentation. And so whenever you're going to prepare for a speech, it always starts with audience analysis. Who am I speaking to, right? That's going to have an impact on the topics that will work for that particular audience. It'll also have an impact on the type of phrasing, the language, the content of the speech. I mean, you're going to have different content if you're talking to a group of middle school kids compared to talking to a group of senior citizens. So you always want to consider the audience. That's a vital aspect of being an effective public speaker. And then also we'll cover the delivery we'll cover the module on delivery skills. And with that, you're going to do a video monologue. You can take a scene from a play, right? I mean, it could be anything you want, and you're going to perform that. And what I really want you to do with those video monologues, really start experimenting with using your voice effectively. Boy, and a lot of you have really good voices already. What we want to do is we want to learn to use lots of vocal variety. In public speaking, you never want the audience to get comfortable with your rate and volume, right? And if your rate and volume is the same, that's what we call a monotone, right? Same rate, same volume all the way through the presentation. Rather, what we want to do is to have lots of vocal variety. Never let the audience get comfortable with our vocal pattern. So that means sometimes we're going to speak a little bit louder and a little bit faster, and other times we'll slow down, soften our tone. And so vocal variety, real key aspect of public speaking. In fact, if I were to tell you what I think are the two most important attributes when it comes to public speaking, eye contact, looking at your audience, and really learning how to use vocal variety to keep the audience into the presentation, so you'll be able to learn some techniques like that in that module on delivery skills. So this week, we're dealing with speech anxiety, audience analysis, and delivery skills. You guys are off to a good start. And remember, if you need any help, just hit me up. And also, most of you are doing pretty good with Canvas and getting your videos submitted. I know that's challenging. Look, I had to go through the same thing, and I'm probably less tech savvy than you guys are when we first moved everything online. So I really encourage you too, if you're struggling with something like, hey, I'm having a problem getting my video uploaded, if you look at Canvas and if you just go to the left side of the page, you've got that little blue strip down at the bottom is help. Click on that. They have a chat line, and so you can immediately get help. So if you're kind of struggling with getting the video posted, I mean, yeah, you can check with me and I'll try to get you through it. I have lots of instructional videos posted to help you, but you're probably better off just going straight to help. And Canvas, they're always switching their stuff up. Like just right at the start of this semester, they really changed up their rich content editor. And so because they're always changing, their folks, their reps, they're going to be more up on the tech than I will be or any of us, right? And so go to the help on Canvas. That's a great way to figure out something if you're having a problem. It'll cut down on your frustration. And every time I've got help on Canvas, the people there, they're really cool. They understand. They'll walk you through it. They'll walk you off the ledge. And finally, with that being said, well, certainly, especially in an 8-week class, we don't want to procrastinate. But remember, everything's online. So if you're struggling and getting frustrated trying to get a video posted and it's, almost the deadline, don't worry about it, right? Set it aside, right? Get back at it the next day, got a clear head, get that submitted. Yeah, it's going to be late, but I'm not going to penalize you for that, right? Because for me, really, with the online, that gives you guys a lot more flexibility. Again, I certainly don't want to encourage anyone to procrastinate. That's the worst thing you can do when it comes to public speaking, because if you get into the habit of just writing a speech and then presenting it for the first time without practicing it, you're not going to be an effective speaker. But at the same time, don't kill yourselves just trying to get something figured out before the deadline. It's okay. Walk away, come back the next day, and then get it done. All right? So I understand the frustrations there. I'm here to help, and we certainly aren't going to penalize folks for trying their best to get their work done. All right? Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next Tuesday. All right. Out.